So, why are things the way they are? Why are there school shootings? Why are there hurricanes? Why couldn't the Longhorns hold on to the ball in the end zone? We have disappointments, big and small, and we ask God why. Why are these things the way they are? From the beginning, that's what people have done. Why, God? Why are things the way they are? As I planned preaching for you, I think about what do people need to hear? What do people want to know? What are the things that are troubling people? And as I talk to people, I talk to so many people who just feel like everything's broken. Their families are broken, their jobs are broken, their bodies are broken. And how do we live in the middle of that? And so when I encounter Jeremiah, I find somebody who has thought about that a lot. A prophet who has answered that question, who's gone to God and said, God, why is everything broken? Because Jeremiah lived at a time where everything was broken. Their cities had been destroyed. Their kingdom had been torn down. Their temple had been torn down. Their whole identity was falling apart in slow motion before their eyes. Imagine walking around Kyle and your house is gone and your church is gone and the place that you work is gone. And, well, who are you now if all this stuff is gone? So Jeremiah was speaking to very broken people, trying to live in that brokenness and trying to help them through it. And so Jeremiah was a prophet, not a bullfrog, as I said last week. So Jeremiah was somebody who knew how to listen to God. And thank God for prophets, because that's what prophets do. Prophets have the ability to hear God in a way that not everyone can, and then speak it aloud to the people. It's the prophet's gift, and there are still prophets today who have the ability to listen to God. And so Jeremiah is a prophet, and he prophesies for a long, long time. And at one point he goes to God and says, why, God? And God says, go to the potter's house and watch him work. Now, think about that answer. You're asking God a serious question, why? And God says, go watch that guy. No, write it down for me. Give me the answer. Tell me what book to look at. Don't tell me to go watch this guy make a pot. But that's the beauty of a prophet, because a prophet is always looking for the way God will speak. And Jeremiah says, maybe if I go to this house and hang out with him, I'll learn something and I'll know what God wants me to say. Because prophets know that that's how God speaks to us in these weird and wonderful ways. So Jeremiah goes to the potter's house and watches him work. And he would work at a wheel. I was playing with Play-Doh with the kids, and you pinch it. But in those days, most of their pottery was done on a wheel. Have y'all ever seen this? Have y'all ever watched a video or watched in real life? It's really fun to watch. The wheel spins. Ours are electric, but theirs, they would do it with their foot and make the wheel spin. And they plop a blob of clay on there, and they have water, so they're always adding water to keep their work moist. And they go like this, and it starts to make a bowl. And it's so fun to watch. And then they go like this, and it grows. And they go like this, and it makes an opening. And they go like this, and it makes a neck. And it's just so fun to watch. And it just goes and goes and goes, and you watch every little, just tiny movement of the hands does something different. And you watch this thing be created in front of your eyes. And there's this thing that always happens when you watch a potter, and I don't know if you've ever seen it, but at one point the potter decides, I'm not liking where this is going, and they just go splork. I mean, one little hand motion and it just splork. And you watch this beautiful thing just splork. And you go, no! You could have fixed that. Why did you do what you did? Why did you do that? That took you forever. Why did you splork it? But potters often splork because they know that, man, this just isn't going the way I want it to, and I can't fix it. I have to start over. And what a lesson in life to know this isn't going well. We must do something else. I talked about that a little bit last week when I talked about the brokenness in the world, and the first thing is to go, look, this is broken. This isn't going to be fixed. I've got to do something else because what I've been doing isn't working. And so potters do that all the time. They take this thing that looks beautiful and they splunk it and they start over and make something more perfect. And so some of us have been splunked. Some of us have had our hard work crushed. Some of us have seen our lives feel like they're falling apart in small ways and big ways. Some of us have had the disappointment where it just seems like everything I've worked for just got ruined. Everything I've done. I planned this whole carnival and now I can't have it. Right? There's all these things that we worked so hard for for, and we watch them crush. What do you do? So Jeremiah is talking to people who have watched everything be crushed. Every dream, everything they work for get crushed. And when that happens, you have two choices. You can say, it's ruined, I quit. Or you can say, oh, the storm, that happens. That's part of the creative process. Let's do something else. And Jeremiah wanted his people to know that they had choice about what to believe. You can give up, you can be hopeless, or you can understand that there are hands on this. There are hands on your life. There are hands on this situation. This isn't over. It just had to change to be remade. And so if we listen to Jeremiah today, this image of the potter, I think about, God could have told Jeremiah this, but having Jeremiah watch that spork, and those of you who've seen it know what I'm talking about, for him to see it, that's what God wants to tell Israel. I made you, Israel. I can make you again. I'm in charge of things around here. So I want to give you an example of kind of how this looks in everyday life, an example of how it looks in my life. I don't like when preachers always talk about themselves, but I don't want to make fun of you and embarrass you, so I'll make fun of myself and embarrass myself. I'll take volunteers for next week. This is who I am. I'm the baby. I'm the youngest in a big family, the youngest of 10. And so my family, when they introduce me, they always say, that's Stella, she's the baby. Stella's the baby. They don't say baby in the family, they just say Stella's the baby, so I'm the baby. And so they even made up a nickname for me when I was young. Let's see, where should I be, Sean? Am I going to be in here? All right. I'm the baby, camera. Those of you watching at home on YouTube. My family called me Weensy, like Teensy Weensy. And I still have cousins who still call me Weensy. There are people in Laredo, Sean, that will say, oh, I know Weensy. I'm the baby. So because my family told me this about myself, this is what I've always believed about myself. So I've always kind of had the sense of being the youngest, the smallest, the weakest. And when you think this about yourself, you act this way. So when people do things to me that are cruel or unjust, I don't fight back, I cry. And I go, see what they did to me, whining, complaining to my friends. I'm not good at standing up for myself because I was always told the baby, and so I think this about me. So when I started to follow God, and more seriously, I wanted to go to seminary, and I thought, I'm going to go to seminary because I love this church stuff, but I can't be a pastor because I'm just kind of, And God said, this is who I made. I'm calling you to be a spiritual leader. And I went, I can't be that out of this. And it took me a while to understand because I was getting good at this. I was even a baby mom. I'm the fun mom, make my husband do the discipline, right? I found a way to live in this identity, and God didn't have that identity for me. So eventually God swarmed me. God made me realize you are not a baby, and God gave me some hard things to deal with. I found my own strength, and I realized that I am a spiritual leader. But without the spark, I could have never gotten there. So God transformed me in a miraculous way, but I had to go through a little pain to get there, and now I know more who I am. When things get rough, I revert, and then God reminds me, you are strong, you are not a baby. So I'm going to give you some more examples. I've known people whose identity was star athlete. You're good at sports, everybody watches you, right? It feels good. I'm a star athlete. Hey, God says, that's nice. You have the heart of a teacher, and that's what I made you to be. But I don't want to be a teacher, I want to be a star athlete. And my body's falling apart and I'm not winning anymore. And God says, I'm trying to show you that there's something else for you, and it's better. And it's who you really are. But we often can't get our heads around the fact that we're not what we thought we were. And sometimes it takes God sparking us to get us there. Okay, here's another one. I could go on all day, but you all need to see this one. Party person, also known as drunk. Woohoo, I'm fun. I'm really fun. And God says, yeah, that's not who I made you to be. I made you to be wise and sober. I don't want to be wise and sober. I want another margarita. I've seen God transform people because God can only take you so far when you're the party person, right? God has more. This one's good. I want to be rich. I'm going to choose a career that makes good money. I'm going to buy what I want. I'm going to live in this kind of a house. I'm going to have these kind of things. And God says, I want you to be a parent. All your money goes away, right? But I don't want to give up the nice car. I don't want to give up the things I want to do. I want to live this selfish lifestyle. And God says, if you live into this role and really parent your child, your life will be transformed. God has something else for us. I could go all day. I actually have a marker and posters if you don't want to make one. All right, this one's tough, but we got to talk about it. I'm a loser. I've met a lot of people that are convinced that this is what God made. Please hear me. God does not make this. Let me say that again. God does not make this. There's something else that God made. But if you're not real strong, you're not real smart, you're not real pretty, you're not real persistent, whatever, this gets put on you and you're convinced that this is who you are. And God says, I'm the potter. Let me splunk you. And you go, I got splorked. And then you get splorked again and again and again, and you're just convinced you're a loser, but God is only splunking you to make something else. I know people who hang on to this for dear life. And I say to them, you're not a loser, and they won't let me see what's under there. Because they're convinced this is all there is. There's something else on the other side of here. Well, actually there isn't because I didn't know what to write. I don't get to see what's on the other side sometimes, and neither do you, right? We don't know. The ball of clay does not know what it's going to become. The ball of clay. And so when we resist what God is doing to us, we resist knowing what God is making us into. And so when I think about Jesus Christ, actually I should hold on to this a little longer. Jesus Christ chose this for himself. He chose to be poor. He chose to be born into a nothing place. He chose to be an ordinary person. He chose to do things that made people laugh at him and spit at him. He chose this to show us that God can transform you from that. And he was raised to everlasting life. So no one could say, well, I can't do that, because Jesus chose a low identity to show us God's transforming power, to show us the power of the potter. And so our call is to remember that we have a choice. We can choose that we're something, we can choose to believe we're nothing, we can choose that everything is falling apart, or we can choose to believe, because you have to choose to believe, it takes faith. You can choose to believe that there are hands. There are hands that are holding you, there are hands that are forming you, there are hands that are making you into something